It is officially 8 o'clock. Good morning, Thursday, 16th of February 2023. It's a public holiday in the country here in Uganda. And we kickstart off this hour with a business tip of the day. Now, the business tip says, don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. You can go as far as your mind lets you. What you believe, remember, you can achieve. So never at any one point limit yourself, because what you believe is what you can achieve. So if you put your attention onto achieving something, you will go ahead to winning it. And that is what the business tip is all about. And it's what the business tip is referring to this particular morning. So it is all about the belief that you have, or the kind of mindset towards what you want to achieve, exactly what that tip is saying. Now let's get our business quote of this morning. Now, Vince Lobande says winners never quit and quitters have never won anyway. So winners never quit and quitters never win. Vince Lobande says winners never quit and quitters never win. Vince Lobande with that particular one. So as we continue to give you more updates regarding that, you should be able to notice that winners never quit and quitters will never win. And at any one point, if you want to win, never quit, because as a quitter, you're not a winner at the end of the day. So just like our quote yesterday, which was saying, I've not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So that means I'll be looking for the 1,001 that may work. So you should not quit. And besides that, now we're going to our social media trends. And among the other social media trends that we had as of yesterday, were rotating around Rwanda, a country that is southwest of Uganda in terms of the direction, and also in the western part of the East African community. That is the land of 1,000 hills. Capital Kigali, a country that is big on tourism and lately big on industrialization as well. Let's talk more of what was on the timeline with Kigali as Rwanda. Now, Facts East Africa at East_Fact says, fact, construction of Ntare School Rwanda chapter in Bugesera district is complete. Its construction was conceptualized by former students of Ntare School in Uganda, and among them is President Yoweri Museveni and President Paul Kagame, who is president of Rwanda. So its construction is done. That is Rwanda chapter of the Ntare School Rwanda chapter in Bugesera district, complete as of now. Now, Will Wilson at 2W's Photography says that the bow wave of a hippo posting to mark hashtag World Hippo Day. This awesome hippo was photographed on Lake Ihema at Akegera Park in hashtag Rwanda, hashtag Visit Rwanda, hashtag Conservation, hashtag Nature. So as a matter of fact, that is what Will Wilson, that is at 2W's Photography, had to put on display. Now, UN Rwanda at UN Rwanda says good education is key to quality healthcare and will lead to a reduction in maternal and neonatal mortality. Now, the UNFPA Rwanda works with the at Rwanda Health at Rwanda_edu / at UNI Rwanda and other partners to improve maternal health outcomes and the promotion of the midwifery profession. So that is according to that update from United Nations Rwanda. Now, Rwanda, Visit Rwanda _now says that seen Rwanda's mountain gorillas yet? Plan your experience. $200 for Rwandans, and at Jumia citizens, that is for the East African citizens, and then $500 for foreign residents and other African citizens, and then $1,500 for international visitors, and $15,000 for personalized trekking experiences. Hashtag visit Rwanda in there. So you should be able to at least get more of that update this early morning. Now, looking at the Uganda Coffee Development Authority at Coffee Uganda says, we are telling the Uganda coffee story at the AFCA 2023 in Kigali, Rwanda. The Africa Fine Coffees Conference brings over 2,000 regional and international coffee roasters, traders, producers, professionals, and connoisseurs under the roof. Uganda stands out for its unique coffee and its unique coffee experiences. This is according to Uganda Coffee Development Authority at Coffee Uganda. Now at Marshall 1, that is at Iriza Bimbuto. So far, there is no oil found in this small landlocked country, Rwanda. However, when politics is right, everything must be right. We are strongly committed to building this nation. Believe me, this is the world's next Singapore. It tags Kwizera as the person behind the picture that was taken. That is Marshall 1 in that situation. Now, on the other hand, as well, coming in from the New Times Rwanda, at New Times Rwanda, just in, the National Electoral Commission has announced a proposal to synchronize #Rwanda's parliamentary elections with the presidential elections. The move was announced on Wednesday by Oda Gasizingiwa shortly after she was sworn in as a Rwanda elections chairperson in Kigali. At Smart24 Television, at Smart24 on Twitter, at Smart24 TV says Rwanda is set to connect 3,000 schools to internet by 2024. That and more of that particular app that you'll go on to the website www.smart24.tv/news. And right, that is exactly what is coming in from the social media trends with only 8 minutes of the hour of 8 o'clock. Let's talk minerals and surplus electricity. As according to the Honorable Okasai Opolot, the State Minister of Energy, high cost of transmission and distribution is still eating up the ministry, and electrifying everyone is will need the ministry close to $4 billion. But apparently the other issue is that he has revealed that Uganda is rich in minerals, and it should not be a doubt in any way whatsoever. So let's get this particular update regarding minerals and the surplus electricity in abundance in the country.
First of all, Uganda is producing 1,300 megawatts of electricity, or slightly above. And this electricity is produced against a peak demand of about 800 megawatts. It means we have excess electricity. Now, when you ask me why isn't everybody connected, there are a number of challenges that we have. One, when electricity is generated from a dam or a generation station, we need to take it through transmission. Those tall towers which you see carrying electricity. And when that power is taken using those towers, it has got to go to a substation. And once it is in the substation, it means the power is now brought down to be for distribution, go to the household. It's distribution which is required. The cost of having that infrastructure of transmission and distribution is extremely high. I'll give you an example. When you say everybody needs to be electrified, and the ministry has got a strategy and an ambition to to connect everybody to electricity by 2030, and by 2040 everybody should be electrified. But the cost of having that done is so high. In the ministry, in our strategy, the cost of electrifying and delivering electricity to everybody is about $4 billion US. But what we are being provided is about, for example, the loan which the MPs were talking about. It's a loan of only $638 million. So there is a huge gap. And then when you look at what we are trying to achieve from that money, we shall be able to connect only 1,070,000 households against the total population of about over 10 million households. So sharing this electricity now to everybody becomes very difficult. We are not saying we should be given money all at once, but give us tranches to enable us to continuously deliver electricity to the population. So that's the magnitude of the challenge that we have. So we have generated that power, but because we have not been provided with the resources to transmit and distribute it, we are not able to consume the electricity. So it is what I'm discussing with the MPs, and they have understood that yes, we need to continue supporting the sector and providing the sector with the funding to enable us electrify the country totally. Uganda is rich in the minerals. When we go underground, we have a diversity of minerals ranging from gold, uranium, iron, cobalt, lithium, mention it, including marble. We also have granite. We have all this. Now, when you ask how much do we have, I may not be able to quantify it now, but I can give you where they occur. There is no secrets about it. It is available. We have even put it on the web. Whoever wants to know what mineral occurs where, you can go to the cadastral map and you'll be able to know what mineral your house is seated on. You can be able to know that. And we are concluding the aerial surveys, the most recent, and what's going on, coming to a final end is actually that one in the northeastern area, which is covering parts of Bugisu, Mount Elgon, which is Sebe and Mount Elgon. Then you'll Sebe and Bugisu, parts of Teso, the whole of Karamoja, and it goes to parts of Langu and Acholi. So that one is going to be concluded by the end of this year, and we shall have in totality what mineral wealth we have as a country.
For example, when you look at the new geodata, shows that Uganda has large underexploited mineral deposits of gold, oil, high-grade tin, tungsten or wolfram. There's a little bit salt, beryllium, cobalt, iron ore, NEM. The kind of minerals that are unexploited so far. Quite many here, and someone would still ask about that. The Uganda Investment Authority does look at mineral value addition as something that they look forward to at least having. Now, when the minister does say that we have minerals and electricity, of course, in surplus, These are some of the key things that he's actually mentioning about. Of course, when you look at the issue to do with gold, for example, there was a 340 billion gold tax dispute just previously, 2 weeks ago. Still the same matter here, where the officials of the Uganda Revenue Authority and the Finance Ministry were actually presenting pretty much this bill to ensure to present the Mining and Minerals Bill, rather, 2021 before Parliament. And just a brief one, if you're to look at this entire issue, was that URA and Finance Ministry officials found themselves in a spotlight after it emerged that they had failed to collect more than 300 billion from unspecified gold export deals. Now, the issue to do with minerals in the country is that we are rich in minerals, if you look at that, but there's a lot to do with mixed, I would say, unregulated. It's more of unregulated for the people in the mineral sector in Uganda. For example, now, when you look at the Auditor General's latest report, which illuminated that 340 billion shillings was worth a loss from the gold exports that were valued at 6.962 trillion shillings. That is for the financial year 2021 to 2022. And then furthermore as well is that the other issue, according to the taxman URA, attributed that the non-collection was basically due to an imposed levy of 5% on every kilogram of refined gold and 10% of unprocessed gold. That was after Parliament had passed the Mining and Minerals Bill in 2021. And last February, a new taxing regime that earlier imposed a levy of $100. That is roughly 360,000 for each kilogram of refined gold exports, which are set to kick in. But the issue to do with tax evasion in regards to the minerals and of course exportation of minerals is a very huge concern, despite the fact that we look at the issue to do with minerals and surplus electricity as a way forward. But of course, now if we're to look at the issue to do with electricity, on the other hand, we focus more on the rural electrification program. This was an initiative that has been in place for quite some time now, and the issue is that Umeme, which will be out of service in 2025 after their contract expires, has been pushing for rural electrification. And of course, most of the upcountry areas in Uganda have started accessing electricity. Not all, but most probably most, like I did mention, and that is something that goes back to the lack of funding by the Energy Ministry, because according to the Energy Ministry, this initiative is likely to cost 4 billion extra. That is 4 billion shillings if we are $4 billion rather, if we are to make sure that the entire country is lighting up, or every homestead has electricity within Uganda. So it goes back to the issue to do with less funding to the sector. And of course, remember, as the budget allocation is also going underway, that is with the issue to do with the budget framework paper, you as well get to understand that most of the sectors are asking government to add more funds during the allocations before the budget cuts kick in, obviously. But looking at it, there's the other issue to do with the challenges that the Ministry of Energy is facing is to do with high cost of transmission and distribution. That is where the other challenge is. Transmitting electricity and distributing it to various homesteads as well is an issue to be addressed. Now, just yesterday, before the Uganda Manufacturers Association and members under the Uganda Manufacturers Association, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Ruth Nankabira, did warn stakeholders, especially the manufacturers, on the issue to do with electricity, of not clearing their areas in regards to electricity, and then possessing of illegal scrap in their premises. She did also mention about the issue to do with the theft of electricity, not only electricity infrastructure vandalism, but also theft of electricity and not paying in time, especially the manufacturers, and did warn that she is likely to close down quite a number or shut down a number of operations in companies if they do not follow the set guidelines, as they are working towards ensuring that electricity distribution and transmission is a reality. But besides that, also not to affect the distribution in any way whatsoever. And of course, when you look at most of the companies here in Uganda, they are literally industries, manufacturing farms, do use quite a number or use more megawatts of electricity. That is why most of them have alternatives of creating their own energy. For example, if you go to Kakira or Lugazi Sugar Works, they apparently generate part of their own electricity by using the sugarcane husks. So that tells you how much of the electricity manufacturers use in the country. So at the end of the day, it is also very important to these manufacturers, simply because if there is load shedding in any way, it does affect a lot of their side of production. It affects the kind of production levels, and it is not, or it will definitely be affecting the entire production value chain within the country. But as we look at the energy ministry in Uganda steadily, because it's more of the same regulator of the mineral development, the sector of minerals, especially the stakeholders in there, there is an issue to do with tax evasion, now also illegal exportation, which needs to be curbed still. But then furthermore, as well as we continue, you get to realize that with electricity too, electricity distribution and transmission, on the other hand, has only been greatly affected by the issue to do with lack of funding, but also electricity infrastructure vandalism in the same space, as the country tries to mobilize for more of what is in there. And also, continuously moving on further, is that we get to look at the same issue that I was actually mentioning about in regards to the gold tax dispute of 340 billion Ugandan shillings. That is roughly around 12 trillion US dollars of gold. And it's something that you should be able to get in this particular update, as we get more of what is happening before Parliament.
Kalamoja, you are not mentioning about the marble. I'm meant to understand we have one of the finest marble in the whole world. I'm seeing people carrying that marble, taking it to France and everywhere. Why are you quiet about that marble? And I'm told we are second to Australia. You want to verify whether what I know is what you have. Yes, I know that we have one of the finest marble depots in the whole world. How much do we have in terms of marble? How much do we have in terms of rare earth metal? How much we are seeing people now going to Busoga to buy land. Everywhere in Kamuli, in Kalio, my friend here, my colleague, he may not know why people are buying land there. People are buying because they are aware that there is rare earth metal there. Yes, and they are deceiving our people that they are going to plant sugar canes. So can you help us so that we understand, because that is very, very important information. Then on Masaka Western, that 400 kV, there is a variation, there is a variance in terms of the very use that you give land. Land from Masaka to Lyantonde has a different value. When it reaches Lyantonde, it appreciates. It appreciates. What is that? When land, and let me mention it because I've been following, you pay a different price from Masaka to Lyantonde. When you reach Lyantonde, land appreciates. I don't know about Honalobianyima, but I'm in that area. Chair protect me from Honalobianyima. I didn't know that Honalobianyima knows this. I want the explanation why land appreciates from Liantondi to Mbalala now. The land appreciates there. Honorable Chair, I want to hear from the team. I've seen from the well-presented report, very, very good report by the PS. You have done excellent work in terms of transmission. But the problem now is the distribution. The loan that you came with that we passed only reassures us on 1.2 million households. That means we still have a huge gap. And we are very worried. We have power, you have generated enough. Now you have transmitted, which is very okay. What are you going to do to make sure that the power you have generated and transmitted is distributed so that we can utilize it and develop this country? Because me, I'm not yet smiling at the fact that most of the power is not yet utilized. And then, what is the status of Umeme? What is the status of Umeme currently? Should we hope that Umeme, his dominance is about to end? What is their status? And then I'm hearing it for the first time from the PS that you are compensating land for the low voltage. I'm hearing it. Is it now a policy? There is a talk about the $12 trillion gold. I thought you were going to tell us, is this true? Because I saw some clip where even the president was talking about it.
And of course, that is more of the 340 billion gold tax dispute, where officials, of course, just earlier 2 weeks ago, officials of the Uganda Revenue Authority and the Finance Ministry were actually having issues with the 340 billion tax dispute in regards to the gold exports. I did mention about the issue to do with the kind of exports of gold, especially not only gold but other minerals in the country, but of course gold being the highlighting point here. And it's something that the ministry is also working towards enforcing in the few months to come and a few years to come as they continue to regulate the provisions within Uganda's mineral sector. And you're still watching Smart Means Business. When I do return after the break, we have sports business and more from entertainment business.